Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the Dana White Contender Series full card breakdown. This is for the week 9 breakdown. We got some really good fights on this card, and luckily for us we don't have any women's MMA fights, so that makes me really happy. But yeah, even the last week girls fight, that was pretty good. It wasn't the worst. We did cash on it wasn't a big underdog, but we did cash on Danny Barlow last week. We missed on Angel Pacheco, I think, because I told people that he was a good value, and he was. I mean, he lost the fight by a close decision, but this dude has a dog in him. Pacheco definitely has a dog in him. All right, let's get to the next card now, guys. We got this card coming up next. We got the first fight on the card. We got Lucas Rocha taking on Davi, the Black Bittencourt Silva, I think, right? His name is Bittencourt. Okay. They call him Bittencourt. Costa, okay. Davi Costa. Okay, let's go. I gotta get to my notes, guys. So let's talk about Lucas Rocha first. He's a 23-year-old prospect. His best win was over Matias de Silva in his last fight, who was a 10-3 prospect at the time, who was training at Shooty Box with guys like Burrito and some other UFC fighters. So he's beaten he's got a good win in his last fight. He's very athletic. He will throw elbows and knees in the clinch when his opponents are trying to clinch and control him against the cage. He will throw elbows and like a punch sometimes. Also will mix in spinning back fists from time to time. Very creative with his striking. He's hittable though. I've seen him get dropped multiple times in fights. But he has shown good recovery when he does get caught by big shots. He's very tough though. He's very hard to finish. You gotta put him out clean to finish him. He does make mistakes. He's only 23 years old, so you guys gotta remember that. He will throw wild out of place leg kicks at times, which can give up his back sometimes in scrambles. I've seen him eat ground and pound so many times, and he somehow just doesn't go to sleep when he's taking that ground and pound. But sometimes he's more than willing to stay on his back and they eat ground and pound. He will stay calm though. He doesn't panic. If he ends up giving his back to his opponent, he will stay safe and control his opponent's hand so they can't lock in a submission. So he definitely knows what he's doing on the ground. He's not a fish out of water or anything. He will throw in combinations and follow it up with a head kick. I've seen him knock one of his opponents out with a follow-up head kick. His only loss was to Gabriel Taliso, who was 11-4 at the time. He was winning the first round against him too, over Gabriel. He got the takedown early, controlled him in the first round. But then when they got back up, he made a mistake. I think he underestimated his opponent's ability to find his chin from his range. I think that's what the mistake that he made. He thought that he was safe and out of range, and that his opponent wasn't gonna be able to land that counter on him. But what happened was he was in range, and his opponent was able to land right on the chin, and he put him out cold. That was a pretty vicious knockout. Lucas Rocha was sleeping in that fight. That was a pretty brutal knockout. He definitely thought he was safe away. I don't think he thought his opponent was gonna be able to land anything on him. He's got good experience. He's got experience fighting 5-round fights before. He's been in 5-round fights many times. Never really seen him slow down before. He's definitely a ball of energy, man, for sure. He's a ball of energy in that octagon. Really fun to watch. He's 100% fun to watch. I would love to see him get a contract. He definitely has put in the work. I really hope he gets a contract, but he's not gonna be fighting an easy guy. Let's talk about Davi Costa now. Let's talk about Davi Costa. This is a very good fight, very good matchup between these two guys. Davi Costa is on a 10-fight win streak coming into this fight. He has finished 15 of his wins, 9 of those in the first round. He is very well rounded, can finish the fight on the feet and on the ground. He has lost 3 times, and in those 3 losses, he was finished. In those 3 losses, he was finished in all of them. He has been submitted twice before, and grounded and pounded once early in his career. Most of his losses are early in his career. He is coming off a really great win in LFA over 11-2 prospect at the time. He cast as a plus 250 underdog in that fight. So he's casted as an underdog many times. He's a very good striker. He was the national 2-time kickboxing champion. Has a very good Muay Thai skills. He also has a wrestling in his back pocket. He can wrestle non-stop. I mean, he's not the best wrestler out there, but he's a wrestler like Marab, who just is relentless with their takedowns and won't stop. Like, he'll keep shooting takedowns until he gets them. He is a technical striker, seems to have some power too. He will throw with a variety of striking weapons, very athletic. He will throw spinning wheel kicks sometimes. He will throw nasty body kicks. Has a lot of speed in those body kicks. He has good shot selection. Cuts off the cage pretty well too. He will throw feints out there to confuse his opponents. So he's definitely improving his game every time we see him now. He is brutal, throws everything to knock you out pretty much. I've seen him clip his opponents with a left hook and then follow it up with a knee. Like, it's crazy how fast he gets that knee up there with after following up with a punch. He also throws leg kicks with a lot of power. You can hear his leg kicks land. He's more than willing to just trade in the pocket. He welcomes a firefight for sure. He will change levels and go for the takedown, but they aren't super clean. Last fight in Shuto Brazil, that was a 5-round fight in Shuto Brazil. He was chipping away with leg kicks on his opponent, and when his opponent was thinking about those leg kicks, about defending those leg kicks, he went for the takedown. So that's how he set it up. He was chipping away at the leg kicks, and then he set up the takedown with those leg kicks. So you can tell he's definitely improving his game. So that was he got the takedown there, and then he made a really good transitions on the ground. He was throwing good ground and pound there. Doesn't have the best control on the ground, but it's not bad. He stays heavy on top, showed relentless pressure in that fight. Not for 1 second did I think Felipe had any chance in that fight. Felipe had good kickboxing skills. I mean, Felipe is no fish out of water. And Costa pretty much dominated him from pillar to post. Really good win for him there. He finished him in the second round with a rear naked choke. Picked up the Shuto Brazil strap. That was for the belt, I think, which is why he's getting this opportunity now in danawhite Contender Series. He's making improvements fight to fight. He showed good improvements in his last couple of fights. He was in control the whole time. Who am I going to pick in this fight? I think I'm going to pick the underdog. Davi Costa is a plus 100 underdog on some books right now. I think I'm going to take a shot on the underdog here. Even though I like Lucas Rocha, I hope he wins. He's a really good kid. I think Costa is a little bit more crisp in the striking, and he's wrestling in the back pocket. I think he can go to the grappling if he needs to in this fight. And I've seen Rocha get taken down so many times before. Costa can get it done, but he's been put away before a couple of times. So I don't know if you guys want to be betting on him, because Rocha is definitely dangerous. That dude, he comes to fight every time. He's not looking to win on scorecards. Rocha's always trying to get a finish. So this fight is super close. Most people are finishing. Most people are picking Rocha, Lucas Rocha, and it makes sense why, because he's probably I don't know if he's a more well-rounded fighter, but he's definitely the tougher dude, because he's only been knocked out once, and he got put out cold in that fight. I've never seen him quit ever. Like, I've never seen him quit in fights, and he's only lost one fight. Even that fight, he's winning that fight before he got clipped. So Rocha's really good too, man. But I feel like Davi Costa, I think he can get the job done here. Maybe by decision. I'm gonna say decision for Davi Costa. I want to see the weigh-ins. I think Davi is gonna be a little bit bigger, but I want to check the weigh-ins before I make a final pick. But the pick for now is Davi Costa, the underdog. Alright guys, let's go to the next fight now. Next up we have Mauricio Ruffy taking on Raimond Magomedaliev. Let's go. Let's talk about Mauricio Ruffy. He's 8-1 in the MMA career. He's 30 years old, 5 feet 11 inches tall. His opponent is Magomedaliev, is 10-1 in his pro career, 33 years old, a little bit older as a prospect coming in on Dana White Contender Series, but this fight is at welterweight, so it's not too old for welterweight. He's 6'1", 6 feet 1 inch tall. He's a little bit taller than Ruffy here. He fights out of Creep Post Fight Club. Let's talk about the notes that I have on these guys. Let's talk about Mauricio Ruffy first. He's a 30-year-old Brazilian prospect who trains out of Fighting Nerds with the UFC fighters like Caio Barlow, who is another really good prospect in UFC, undefeated. And he also trains with the Gene Silva, who we saw earlier on this Dana White Contender Series season this year. Gene Silva got a pretty big upset win over the undefeated 21-year-old prospect that came in. Good win for Gene Silva there. So he's training with a good Brazilian prospect over there. They got some good Brazilian guys on that come up over there from that gym. He's got great Muay Thai skills. He's had in the Muay Thai he had 15 wins by knockout, and he's 8-1 in his pro career. Like I said earlier, all of his wins have come by knockout. He's never seen the scorecards. His only loss came back in 2019 when he took on Manuel Souza, who's 10-0 right now in MMA. Seems like a really good prospect on his own right. I'm excited to see Souza in the Dana White Contender Series someday. I think we might be seeing Souza make a comeback on the make a run on the. Probably gonna see Souza on the Dana White Contender Series soon. Anyways, so Souza was on a 29 unbeaten streak in Muay Thai coming into that fight, and now he's in PFL. PFL was able to snatch Souza, and now he's 1-0 in PFL. So Souza's a tough man, and like Ruffy's not fighting complete taxi drivers out there. Ruffy did drop him early in the fight. He dropped Souza in the first round. Almost had him out too, but Souza's a tough dude. He was able to survive the early storm and then find a knockout in the second round, I think. Souza went to his body. Souza went to the body with the right hook, and then went to Ruffy's head with the looping left hook, and that Ruffy just didn't see coming at all. Ruffy, he got put out cold in that fight. Yeah, that was a pretty brutal knockout by Manuel Souza. I mean, Ruffy, he does fight with the hands low karate stance, throws nice leg kicks. He will throw flying knee from time to time. Also throws other crazy strikes which can leave him open to counters. He pretty much fights like Misael Pereira. You know how Misael Pereira used to fight before he started using his grappling to getting takedowns. Misael Pereira used to fight really wild, throw a lot of spinning kicks, use a lot of energy. That's pretty much how Ruffy fights. He's really dangerous. He has knockout power in everything he throws. He throws good knees in the clinch. Also has good elbows. He will try to cut you with those elbows. He's very versatile with his striking for sure. He doesn't have the best takedown defense. I've seen him get taken down pretty easily. But he will try to work his way back up, use the fence to get up. Doesn't stay on his back for far too long. He is just putting away guys early, so we don't know how he's gonna look when the fights go long and the fights drag on. If Ruffy does win this fight, it's probably gonna be by knockout. I don't think I see him winning minutes in the fight. I think Magomedaliev is probably gonna be able to get the takedowns on him, and if he does get up, he probably can find if he does survive into the later in the fight, he could probably find a knockout if he really puts the hurting on Magomedaliev. But Ruffy has the power to get it done, man. Ruffy, don't sleep on Ruffy. This dude absolutely has the power to get it done. And those prospects out of that gym, I mean, they're always pulling upsets as pretty big underdogs. But let's talk about Raimond Magomedaliev now. Raimond Magomedaliev is another 33-year-old prospect coming in. Not the youngest prospect, but he's a good prospect. He's had good fights on ONE FC and other promotions. Raimond Magomedaliev is a 33-year-old, so a little bit older, coming in as a possible UFC welterweight prospect, but he has all-around good skill set to make a run in the UFC. He is 10-1 in his pro MMA career so far. He has fought in a Fight Night Globals, which is a good Russian promotion. He's also fought in One Fighting Championship and Eagle FC. He has shown good finishing ability. Most of his wins are by finish. He trains at a Creek Post Fight Club with the UFC fighter Jubera Tuhugov and some other Russian prospects. It's a legit gym run by a former MMA fighter, so it's a good gym to train out of. He has fought a good level of competition. He has wins over guys who were in the UFC at one point, and he has wins over guys who are in Bellator and PFL right now. Good, he's got good wins on his resume. He's fought opponents with the good all-rounded skill set all around. He also fought Impa, who's in PFL now and possibly can get that be a champion. He's a very good striker. Has that wrestling to go with it. He knows, he throws very fast kicks that he will use to keep his opponents at bay. He will chip away at their legs as they're waiting on the outside looking to counter him. That's when he will go in with a 1-2 with his hands that his opponents don't always see coming. Yeah, sometimes they're waiting for that takedown shot and then he'll go with his hands and then knock them out. He mixes it in pretty well. He will throw nasty elbows and knees in when he's able to get you in the clinch. He loves that clinch, man. This dude loves that clinch. You know how Islam Makhachev loves that clinch? How he was landing those knees to Volkanovski in the clinch. That's how Magomedaliev, all of these Russian guys that train out of a KHK, they all love that clinch. Like, they absolutely love that clinch. And they throw elbows, knees, and everything in the clinch. They're absolutely brutal in the clinch. He has very good takedown defense, great balance. Good luck taking him down. Yeah, you're not gonna take him down. If you do, you might be able to get him down in the last round when he's super tired and breathing hard. He is if Magomedaliev can get those early takedowns, I think this fight will be over pretty quick. He is very good at transitioning on strikers and getting to the mount position where he can land ground and pound and he can lock in a submission. He does get tired the longer the fight drags on. If Ruffy wants to win this fight, he's either gotta drag this fight out or he's gotta really find some big shots on Magomedaliev and find a stoppage. This is a tough fight to pick because Magomedaliev has fought the much better level of competition and it's not even close. But Ruffy can definitely crack with his hands. He's got good boxing, good striking. Excuse me, guys. Like I said, he's got good striking, good kicks. He's got a very good skill set all around. I do think Magomedaliev's coaches will drill it through his head to take the safer route and go for the takedowns and get the fight to the ground where he can find a quick finish. I think they're gonna try to drill that through his head, not to strike with Ruffy and give Ruffy any chance on the feet. I am gonna pick Raimond Magomedaliev just slightly, but I do want to check the weigh-ins. But Ruffy's always live, man. Ruffy's all 8 wins are by knockout, so if he does win, it's gonna be by knockout. But I do think Magomedaliev gets the takedowns and gets the finish. I'm gonna say a second round finish for Magomedaliev. Alright, guys, let's talk about his opponent. Yeah, we already talked about Magomedaliev. Okay, let's talk about the next fight now, guys. Next fight up, we have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov taking on José Daniel Medina. Magomed is 7-0 undefeated in his pro career. He's from Bahrain, 29 years old, 6 feet 3 inches tall. He also trains out of that KHK gym, where we have 3 fighters on this card that train out of KHK gym. We have Raimond Magomedaliev, we have Magomed Gadzhiyasulov, and then we have Murtaza, Talha. 3 guys fighting on the same card, man. I think let's talk about the next fight, guys. Let's talk about Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. This is a crazy last name. So Magomed Gadzhiyasulov is 29 years old, a 7-0 undefeated prospect who trains out of KHK gym, the MMA gym. Like I said earlier, it's the same gym where Islam Makhachev trains out of. Now we also have Samuel Gadzhiyasulov in the UFC, who also trains out of there, who just got a nice win in the last card, I think, two cards, I think it was. His teammates is fighting in the main event on this card too. Murtaza, Talha, like I said. He has good. He had a good amateur career before transitioning to the pro leagues. He went 10-2, went pro back in 2017. He's had about 4 years off after his first pro fight. I mean, I wonder why he took the 4 years off. He has not fought the best level of competition for most of his pro career. He hasn't fought the best level of competition, but in his last fight, he got a good win over 11-4 guy Magomed Malim, who's a good prospect on his own right. That dude is really tough and hard to deal with. That dude's got heavy hands, and Magomed was able to control him, mix in the takedowns, land some striking on the feet, and he won by unanimous decision. That was definitely his hardest fight. He's a good striker. Got that Dagestani wrestling too. Hasn't shown the finishing ability against tougher guys, but he can definitely finish fights. But he can control his opponents with the grappling. If he's not able to put them away with the striking, he has good cardio to keep the wrestling pace for 15 minutes. I've never really seen him slow down. He will set up his takedowns by landing up top first, throws nasty ground and pound. Even from his opponent's guard, he will throw his grounded pound. He will throw that grounded pound. He's got a pretty long reach. Will get to mount eventually and find the stoppages. He has not finished his last opponent, who was 11-4 at the time, but he did control him and win the fight from start to finish. He does stay safe on the feet without eating too many big shots from his opponents, but he hasn't faced anyone that good, so we don't know what's going to happen when he does take on a good striker. He does stay light on his feet. He will throw leg kicks. Then he will go to the body, back to the legs, and then he will try to go to the head. Also throws good knees in the clinch. He will constantly switch stances and keep his opponents guessing. This fight does not favor him stylistically, I think, or does it? Yeah, this fight does favor him stylistically. That's what I mean to say. I said not, but this fight does stylistically favor him, because Medina is not all that good. I watched his fight tape too, but Magomedaliev, he can get clipped with shots when he backs up against the cage. I've seen him get I've seen him get clipped and get dropped in his last fight, but he has shown good chin, very good durability. He will go for the takedowns if he's starting to get clipped on the feet. That's good fight IQ by him. Let's talk about his opponent now. We got his opponent, Medina, who's 32 years old, has 11 wins and 2 losses in his career. He's on a 6-5 win streak right now. Trains out of Love Base MMA, where not a lot of known people train out of. It's a very low level gym, I think. But yeah, let's talk about his notes. So José Daniel Medina is a 32-year-old prospect out of Bolivia. He trains out of that base MMA where only a handful of guys train out of. No one at that gym I've really heard of. He has not fought anyone to their name. He's gone 2-1 in Combat Bolivia promotion that I've never heard of before. He's a kill or be killed fighter. He's tough. He has finished most of his wins. He's only gone to decision twice. He did put together a 6-5 win streak, which is impressive, but it's not over anyone that good, if I'm being honest, guys. His last 2 wins are over opponents who have a total record of 15 wins and 31 losses. So that pretty much tells you the level of opponents he's been fighting. He went to split decision with a 4-4 guy in his last fight. Like, horrible. Like, why is he getting this opportunity? Just because he has a 6-5 win streak? Or is the UFC trying to get all these Russian dudes wins? He looks very flat-footed in his fights. He doesn't have any footwork or anything like that. Doesn't have any movement. Doesn't cut angles. He does have a nasty ground and pound if he gets on top of you, but I don't think he's going to be able to get the takedowns here. He's beaten a bunch of taxi drivers. He's just I would call him a brawler, not really a technical striker. He's going to be so open to getting his legs kicked off in this fight. I feel like with how heavy he stays on his lead leg. He's very hittable on the feet. He lets his opponents kick back him against the cage, and he has zero head movement. The only good opponents he's fought was Antonio Gordillo, who was 12-3 at the time. That's the only guy that somewhat has a good record that he's fought. And he lost that fight too. He lost that fight by unanimous decision. Got pretty much dominated the whole fight. Had some success with the takedowns, but he got reversed. He got outstruck in that fight. He pulled the guillotine a couple of times. Really horrible fight IQ by him. He shoots some of the worst takedowns I've ever seen in my life. Doesn't have the best cardio. Starts breathing hard after the first round. In the third round, he's pretty much got his hands low. He's just trying to somehow get the clock run the clock out. I mean, but yeah, I don't know how he's been able to get this opportunity. Magomed should be able to find easy takedowns on him. Even just look for a stoppage on the feet. I think he can find a knockout. The only way Magomed loses this fight is by slipping on a banana peel. I'm joking, guys, but Medina is not a UFC level fighter. Like, good on him if he gets a win here, but I don't think he's gonna have any success in the UFC. He's not a UFC level fighter. He's not even a PFL level fighter. Let's talk about okay, guys, is that it? Yeah, that's it for that fight. The pick is definitely Magomed Gadzhiyasulov by Gadzhiyasulov by. Does he get a stoppage? I think he does get a stoppage. Didn't finish his last opponent, but I think he's gonna be able to finish Medina. I think Mohammed Saeed Malim is a little bit better, is much better fighter than what's his name, Medina, in my opinion. I think this dude's fought a much better level of competition than Medina. He would probably whoop Medina and stop him. But yeah, we're gonna go with the Magomed by finish. I think submission maybe, but he's mostly he's got a submission win, but it's mostly a ground TKO guy. Could be a TKO stoppage, but I don't think there's gonna be much value on the money line. I think the money line is like minus 800, but I definitely think he's gonna win. I'm really confident that he wins the fight. Should be able to win the fight. I don't see how he's gonna lose the fight. Let's talk about the next fight now, guys. Next up, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have Eduardo Matias Torres taking on Victor Hugo Silva. This is gonna be a bantamweight fight, guys. And let's talk about Eduardo Matias Torres. He's 16-1 in his pro MMA career. He's 28 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall. He trains out of Equipo gym with some other new prospects, and he also trains out of his own gym, Cyborg MMA gym. He runs his own gym. This is his lifestyle. This is what he does full time, guys. He doesn't do anything else, and he looks improved every fight to fight. He's making improvements. Let's talk about the notes that I have on him. So Eduardo Matias Torres is a 28 years old prospect who trains out of his own little gym, I think, Cyber MMA. He's a tough, never been finished in 17 pro fights. He had 5 fights in 2015. That's when he started went pro back in 2015. He has been very active since. His only career loss came in 2021, where he lost a unanimous decision win to he lost a unanimous decision to 11-5 prospect who trained out of American kickboxing gym. So no shame losing one fight in 17 fights. Sometimes we all have bad days at work. Anyways, guys, he's fought a good level of competition. I think he has good wins over guys who are looking like future UFC prospects themselves right now. He's a very versatile striker. Throws those body kicks with a lot of power and speed. He's got a really fast speed and everything he throws. He's got his takedown defense is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's elite or anything, but he does get taken down from time to time. But he does stay safe on the ground, and he works his way back up. Even when he does get taken down, yeah, he doesn't panic or anything. He's not willing to stay on his back for too long, losing minutes. He kind of reminds me of Ignacio Bahamondes. That's the way he strikes, pretty much. Very similar to Ignacio Bahamondes. He has good cardio. I've never really seen him slow down in any of his fights. He will stay under pressure. Most people don't want to really have a kickboxing match with him. They try to go for the takedowns, and then they keep going for the takedown attempts, and they end up draining their tank. Keep attempting takedowns over and over, and Matias is able to defend most of the takedowns. Even when his opponents use a lot of energy to get him down, they're not able to do much with him with the takedowns, and then they end up using all that energy, and then when Torres gets back up, he's gonna be fucking on him like a pit bull, letting his hands go, and they're just trying to like hold on. They're just tired, trying to catch their breath. Let's talk about his opponent, Victor Hugo Silva now, guys. Victor Hugo Silva is a 30-year-old prospect. Is 5 feet 8 inches tall. His record is 23 wins and 4 losses. He's been finished in 3 of his losses. Let's talk about the notes that I have on him. Victor Hugo. He trains out of an Astra Fight Team gym. It's a legit gym run by proper coaches and staff. He went pro back in 2011. He's been very active since. He's already had 27 total pro MMA fights. That is a lot of experience coming into this fight. He's very well rounded. He has 8 wins by knockout, 8 wins by submission, and 8 wins by decision. So he's not a one-trick pony or anything like that. He does have 4 losses. He's been finished in 3 of those losses, but they were to good, reasonable fighters. He's not being finished by tomato cans or anything like that. He's on quite a run right now. 12 fight unbeaten streak, so that's quite impressive. But what's weird about him is that this fight with Torres is at bantamweight at 135, but Silva's last fight was at featherweight 145, and before that fight he fought at welterweight 170. Like, he keeps moving back and forth with these weight classes. Like, does he have problem making 135? Like, if so, like how is he gonna manage to make a weight for this fight? He's probably really draining himself making the weight at 135. I don't know why he's doing this, but the good news is that he is knocking those bigger guys out, so he must have a lot of power in his hands. He does look huge for bantamweight, so I wonder how hard the weight cut is going to be for him. He's made bantamweight weight many times before, so I don't think it's going to be a big problem, but he did fight at welterweight and featherweight before this fight, so he's gonna have to come back and cut a lot of weight. He will look for takedowns when he can get a. His nickname is a striker, but he can grapple just as well. He will look for a spinning back fist from time to time when he sees his opponent rushing in, closing the range on him. He's got good power. I've seen him sleep much bigger guys when he lands clean on them on the chin. He's a very dangerous guy. Who am I gonna be picking, man? Who am I gonna be picking in this fight? I'm gonna pick Eduardo, Matias Torres. And 55% people are picking Matias Torres. And 45% people are picking Silva. So very close fight. I think Torres can even find a knockout here. Yeah, I think he can find a knockout too. Torres is really good at setting up those flying knees and those striking. But the pick is Torres by decision. But I might change it to knockout. I want to check out the skills. I want to see how big Victor Hugo looks, because he's fought at welterweight. So like, I want to see how big he looks next to Torres on the face-offs. Alright guys, next up we have the main event of the evening, guys. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Come on. If you guys appreciate the content, if you guys appreciate the grind, I stayed up like 5 hours just watching the tape on all of these fighters, just so I could get this video out to you guys before the lines come out and they get hammered, so you guys can get some good value on the betting lines. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, guys. Like the video, leave a comment below for the algorithm. I appreciate every one of you guys that support my videos and watch my videos, and that's the reason I make these videos for you guys, man. Come on. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment below for the algorithm. Once again, guys, let's get to the main event. And we have Rodolfo Bellato taking on Murtaza Talha. This is gonna be a really good matchup, man. I can't wait for this fight. Rodolfo Bellato, let's talk about him first. Rodolfo Bellato coming back for his second opportunity on Dana White Contender Series. Let's talk about Rodolfo Bellato. He's a 27-year-old Brazilian prospect training out of Herman Gutierrez's team. He's the LFA light heavyweight champion. He won the LFA light heavyweight belt in his last fight over Dos Santos. Excuse me, guys. He's been on the Dana White Contender Series before, but he was matched up against Vitor Petrino, who's an absolute savage himself. Vitor seems like a force to be reckoned with in the UFC, and Vitor has done really good in the UFC so far, so no shame losing to Vitor. He lost to Vitor twice. He's lost to him early on in his career. He lost to Vitor back in 2019 by knockout in the first 25 seconds, and then he lost to Vitor on the Dana White Contender Series in the second round. I remember watching that fight. I had a bet on Vitor Petrino by knockout there, and I was really happy with the results. So let's talk about his other notes. Since the last fight on Dana White Contender Series, he's gone back to LFA and has picked up 2 victories in a row, which is why he's getting another shot on Dana White Contender Series for another UFC contract. But the UFC is doing him no favors here at all. They're giving him the crazy Russian prospect Murtaza Talha. I think that's how you say his name. So he's Rodolfo Bellato. He's finished 9 of his 10 wins. 7 of those are first round finishes. So he's a very dangerous guy. I know Dana is always looking for exciting light heavyweights. I think that's why they're giving him another shot on Dana White Contender Series. Bellato is definitely the exciting fighter to watch for sure. In his last fight, he used his grappling to just dominate another former Contender Series hopeful, Dos Santos. That was a 5-round main event in LFA. He was getting those takedowns, mixing in takedowns, but on the feet he didn't look too comfortable. I feel like he's not willing to trade in the pocket anymore. He's like leaves his chin open, chin up high, and he gets he gets clipped a lot on the feet. If you have money on him, I would not feel comfortable him standing with Talha on the feet. But he's got power too, so Talha's got to be careful too. That was the only fight that he won by decision in his career. He has good power in his hands, but is very hittable himself. If he gets clipped, he will try to clip his opponent's back. He's trying to get it back right away, instead of using his footwork to get out of danger. He welcomes a firefight, but showed good game plan in his last fight, mixing in striking and grappling in LFA last fight. Doesn't have the best transitions on the ground. He's more than willing to just stay on top of his opponents and catch a breather, instead of trying to transition to mount and land a heavy ground and pound. And that was one of the most boringest fights I've ever had to go back and rewatch. Terrible fight that was. He did show good cardio in the 5-round fight, though he didn't really slow down at all. I'm gonna pick Talha here. Oh, I forgot to talk about Talha. There's no secret. I'm gonna be picking Talha here. But let's talk about Talha. Talha's another third guy who's gonna be fighting on this card, who trains out of a KHK MMA gym. Let's talk about him. Talha is a 27-year-old prospect who trains at a KHK MMA gym, like I said. He is teammates with the Magomed, Gadzhiyasulov, and Magomedaliev. Both of these 3 guys are fighting on the same card. Both of them are going to war together. Talha is 6-0 in his pro MMA career so far. 3 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission, He has never seen the scorecards in his pro career. Um, he has plenty of MMA experience, guys. He's competing. He's competed in the amateurs. His amateur record is crazy. Probably one of the best amateur records I've ever seen in my life. He did beat Anton Turkazi, the Pleasure Man, in the amateurs. He beat him by unanimous decision. So he's not like taking on complete taxi drivers in the amateurs or something. He's got heavy hands. Every time he lands, he definitely does damage. You can tell when he lands that it definitely stuns his opponents. They take a step back and think about it for a second when he lands is clean. His striking is very crisp. Doesn't seem out of place when he throws his shots. He's very composed. Mainly a boxer. Doesn't throw a lot of kicks at all. He might be throwing kicks in this fight, but I haven't seen him throw a lot of kicks in his previous fights yet. He's got very good grappling. Trains out of that KHK gym, so you know he's got all the Dagestani tricks and everything. He will just hang on to your back and keep taking you down over and over, draining your energy. He's got good cardio. He can definitely keep a pace for 15 minutes. He will eventually find a submission. If he's able to get to your back over and over, at some point he's going to be able to lock in that submission and get you out of there. I think Talha is going to be able to find a ground and pound stoppage or lock in a submission here. We're going to go Talha by submission and maybe a club sub. Bellato has been knocked out before, so maybe it could be a ground and pound. So let's go over the picks, guys. The picks are in the main event. We're gonna go with the Murtaza Talha by finish. I'm gonna go submission. And then for the whole main event, we're gonna go Matias Torres by maybe knockout. And then in the next fight, we're gonna go with the Magomed Gadzhiyasulov by knockout. And then in the next fight, we're gonna go with the Raimond Magomedaliev by does he get him out of there? I don't know if he. I think he's gonna lock in a submission too. Let's go by knockout. I think he's a knockout guy. He mostly looks for knockouts. Ground and pound. So Raimond by ground and pound, and then in the first fight we're gonna go with the underdog Davi Costa by decision. I hope you guys caught all my picks. We're gonna go with the Murtaza Talha by finish. Torres by finish. Magomed Gadzhiyasulov by finish. Raimond Magomedaliev by finish. And then Davi Costa as my only underdog pick. That's are you guys looking at parlays, guys? The only parlay that I like on this card is Murtaza Talha. His money line is like -200 something, so not bad to put into parlays. This is definitely a dangerous fight. It's not gonna be an easy fight because Rodolfo has heavy hands, but I feel like Talha is the much better fighter. He's gonna have the grappling edge in this fight, and he's gonna have the heavy hands, and he's got a good durability. He's gonna have the cardio advantage too, I think. So I think Murtaza Talha, throw him in a parlay with maybe Raimond Magomedaliev. I think that could hit. I feel like that parlay can hit for sure. Maybe all of these three teammates together. I think I like that parlay. Murtaza Talha on the money line, Magomed on the money line, Raimond Magomedaliev on the money line. All three of them. Maybe it might give you plus money. Once all the bookies bring out the lines, that's when we can talk about more parlays. I'll be talking about the more parlays on the best bets, which bets that I like on this card. But so far, the only bet that I like on this card is the underdog Davi Costa. Maybe I want to check out the weighins before we bet on this card. Okay, guys, if you guys appreciate the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm gonna go get some sleep. I've been up all night. You guys couldn't tell my hand. I'm fucking so tired right now. Barely can open my eyes anymore. If you guys appreciate the grind, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Thank you guys for being here. Join the Discord, by the way, guys. We have over 30 people in the Discord and it's free. We drop all our bets over there and all our updated picks and live bets if we like anyone live betting. So please join the Discord, guys. The link is in the bio, I think. I'm gonna end this here. Take care of yourself, guys. Stay safe out there and take care of yourself. Take care of your family, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.